Hello, everyone. How are you? Happy to have you hosting here by Wake Up Labs, the Stylus Sprint, and these technologies and Arbitrum DAO. This is a great event, so hope you have a great meal, a great lunch, a great time. I will present what we are building for Stylus, that is the AssemblyScript SDK. First, I will tell just who I am. I am Milton Berman. I am co-founder of Wake Up Labs. I'm an engineer from here, graduated in Argentina, working in crypto for the past 7 to 8 years. We founded Wake Up Labs 4 years ago. What is Wake Up Labs? We are a team of passionate engineers. You can see them here. We like to build, and we are passionate about decentralization technologies, crypto, blockchain. And we build infrastructure, we build apps for blockchains such as Arbitrum. We also build for Aztec, Starnet. We have many clients that want to tokenize real-world assets. We are working on that, smart contracts. So that's what we do, especially with Arbitrum. We have been working a lot the past year and a half. We started our journey doing Arbitrum Connect. That is what we call it, escape hatch from the chain. That is a tiny bit of decentralization that every rollup needs. So if the sequencer is misbehaving because it's not working or it is censorship resistant, you can go and get your funds from the rollup up to the Ethereum mainnet. In the past, before Arbitrum Connect, you have to be a coder to do that. Now you can go to our interface. It's a simple app, and you can escape if it's needed. Hopefully, it never was necessary, but it's important for every rollup to have it. We started first with just for Arbitrum 1 to go to Ethereum, and now you can use it from every Orbit chain compatible to go to the parent chain. Then we also built a zero-knowledge proof verifier for Stylus. And we are building this AssemblyScript Stylus SDK that I will talk about right now. Srinjoy talked about a lot about the Stylus. I will just remember a few concepts on why Stylus matters. So it opens the possibility to many other languages developer to build smart contracts, to build onchain, to build on Arbitrum. You can be a C, C++, Rust developer, or even TypeScript developer, and you can write code to the WASM VM and be compatible with EVMs. So that's disruptive. Of course, you can get faster and cheaper transactions, so it's good for the end user. So Srinjoy talked a lot about this, but that was a great development, and the team from Off-Chain Labs and Arbitrum made this new WASM VM that is fully integrated with the AVM. So what we are building in Wake Up Labs, we are building this the AssemblyScript SDK on Stylus. So to put it simple, it's an SDK that enables TypeScript developers to write smart contracts for Arbitrum. That's it, in a simple way. And it is important. We were talking with the guys here when I was preparing this talk. I was checking how about the TypeScript developers, if there are many or not. We all think there are many developers, but I could check it. There's a report from GitHub from past week, from end of October. There is a growth of 1 million new contributors year over year in GitHub of TypeScript developers, so it surpassed Python. It's a language that is mostly used worldwide, and mainly they don't do blockchain stuff. So what we are building right now will enable these millions of developers and this super hot language to write stuff for the blockchain. Of course, the language that is mostly used is TypeScript. We need to use AssemblyScript so it can work in the WASM VM that Stylus works on. But AssemblyScript is essentially a subset of TypeScript, so it was something that it was doable, and we are doing it. Some benefits that we see in what we are building, of course, because of the WASM VM, we have a possibility to have faster and cheaper transactions. But in this case, with the huge amount of developers, there is a possibility for people that don't know and don't understand blockchain concepts at all to have a smoother onboarding to blockchain, in this case to Arbitrum. So we can have extra developers with less learning curve. It can be a great educational language, and maybe it can grow also beside this educational, because some early measurements, it works pretty good. Then we will be able to find if there are many other benefits. But these are the key ones. How we made it, I won't get too much deep. Then you can ask Juanchi, our tech lead, is there. He's hiding, but he's there. He's the one that really knows what we are doing, but what we did in general, in conceptual thoughts, is that, as I said, TypeScript, AssemblyScript is a subset of TypeScript, so we have to find a way to make the TypeScript code that we are letting the developers to do specific modifications for it to become AssemblyScript compatible. Then, if we have something that is AssemblyScript compatible, we can compile it to a WASM. And then if you have WASM bytecode, you can deploy it to the WASM VM of Arbitrum Stylus. So we have to do a lot of research and understanding how Stylus works, the internals, the entry points, the storage type. For example, we have to build, I don't know, for example, a big string, you know, that maybe in Solidity just works. For AssemblyScript, we could do a short string. It was easy to do that. But if you wanted to do a large string, we have to do kind of a chain of short strings and a pointer to each one of the other parts of the chain. So we have to take some decisions there to build it. We are happy of the progress we are getting. So it's complex under the hood, simple for developers. There is some code you can see. I don't know if you can see this, but believe me, that is TypeScript code with some decorators. So that is an ERC20 token. You can see the decorator that is something that TypeScript developers are familiar with. But also, if you come from Solidity, you will be also familiar with that, like the view functions, public function, the declaring a contract. You can also declare external functions. We were trying to make it fully compatible with what you can do with Solidity. We built a CLI, a super simple CLI, so you can start from scratch. You can bootstrap your project super easy. Just create, I will show a video right now, but you use the command generate, and you generate the project, the needed folders, then you can use the command build. Super simple, nothing complex, so you can onboard new developers in an easy way. I will try to show you a video, 2 minutes video of how this works. Here is Juanchi talking in English.
Well, in this video what we're going to see is, first of all, how to use the CLI. The first command we're going to run is generate, which will create a folder with the name we want, and basically it sets up all the initial bootstrap so we can create our smart contract, right? As we can see, it gives us the package JSON, among other things. And inside source, a contracts folder with a simple counter as an example. Another very interesting aspect is that it also gives us a sense of how the test suite is actually going to look, right? And in this example, what's also important is that the SDK already includes many functions that make it easier to set up tests. For example, here it gives us the npm. What we could do is, here it's already finished installing, right? You can see demo and run npm run test, and it should be able to execute all the commands. As I mentioned earlier, the CLI which stands for Command Line Interface, does quite a lot of things behind the scenes, and as we can see here, it generates our artifacts folder. This folder will then generate all the files that we need for our project, right? As we can see here, the AssemblyScript code, which is the one that will later be compiled to Wasm and will be executed on Arbitrum. And well, we can also see the intermediate code I mentioned earlier, the ABI, and well, many other files needed to be able to carry out the execution. As we can see here, well, these example tests have passed, so it gives us all the initial bootstrap to be able to directly create our smart contract and, well, compile it, and if we wanted, deploy it.
Thank you, Juanchi. So, coming back to the presentation, some initial metrics I was discussing with the Off-Chain Labs team before. This is a simple ERC20 token that we deployed with our AssemblyScript implementation. So when you use it, the mint execution time is 25% faster with our SDK, with AssemblyScript. The token gas use is a bit higher, kind of 17%. But on deployment, the size, that is a typical issue that Srinjoy knows about. But in our case, in this smart contract, is 50% smaller. That's super good. Deployment gas use is also 40% cheaper. And we had a slow amount of time on deployment time. We didn't do any optimization. This is not the scope of what we did on our first implementation, but these are good numbers, and we would like to continue improving it, for sure. If you want to try AssemblyScript Stylus SDK, you can scan this QR code. We have a nice docs platform and also a playground, so you can test ERC20s and ERC721, the typical tokens in Solidity. Also, you can contribute to the repo. You can give us issues or whatever, and stars, of course. So just to tell you what about our product, what we are building right now, we almost finished well, it is ready, the 0.1 version, what we're expecting for this year. We are now expanding a bit some of the missing types. We will be able to have more complex mapping types. Now we are working on that. You know, the typical mapping in Solidity. Now in AssemblyScript SDK, it works with just some combinations of types. The most simple one, well, we will continue to expand it to more complex ones, and also more improvements and bug fixing. I'm happy to hear the community feedback. So yeah, we would like to continue growing. We have a huge backlog that we can discuss with OCL and Arbitrum. So we can continue with that, and also happy to continue working on these new modules framework that Srinjoy was talking about. So that's it. Thank you.